Hey guys, Tepco Cycle Repair. So you got a fuel injected bike, a street bike or something, and unfortunately not everybody has a garage to put their bikes in, and sometimes they got to store it out in the parking lot and they don't get around to riding it. So it's been, in this bike, it's been 3 years. So let's say your bike's been sitting for 2 years and you go out there to start it up, put a new battery in it, crank it, fuel injection, pumps up, primes and everything, and it won't start. Or it runs for a little bit, then it dies and it won't start again. I'm going to show you a problem. I've run into this a whole bunch of times. It's very common for bikes that have to sit outside. The only thing you're going to need is something to catch your fuel in. You're going to need a line, like a rubber line that can fit over your fuel pump port that comes out to your injectors. And you have to have a way to get to your fuel pump. So in this case, I'm working on an FZ6. It's been sitting for 3 years. I took the bolts out in the front of the tank, and you can just pick it up and pivot it, and I'll show you that. And then you can get to the fuel pump underneath where the line connects. Disconnect the line. We're going to hook the hose up, and let me show you what's going on. All right, so this is an old junker I got from a salvage yard. Now this thing has been sitting for, I think they said it was like 3 years. So, and I don't know how long it was sitting before they even got it. So let's take this 2 bolts up top. I don't even know what size they were. These weren't even in when I got the bike. All right, so we're going to prop the tank up. So now underneath the tank here, we have our fuel pump, okay, sitting right underneath there. And there's where our fuel line connected. And I just disconnected the fuel line. That's all I've done so far, okay? So here's our fuel line that I took off of it. So what you want to do is take the line. This is the line that I just grabbed out of the shop. And we're going to stick it on here so that we have something to catch our fuel. All right, and then I'm just going to put this tank down just so that it's priming the fuel from the bottom of the tank. Okay, so now I got that fuel line running out of there, no obstructions, and it's sitting down here in this cup. Now I'm going to turn it on and let the pump prime. I'm going to see, you can see what's going on with this thing. So this bike, when I got it, I put a battery in it, fired it up, it ran fine for a few minutes, and then it started bobbling and died. And now it won't restart again. And I knew exactly what was going on because, like I said, I've done this before. So let me get the ignition turned on, and then I'll hit the switch for you and we'll see. All right, so the ignition is on. Let's hit the switch so that the pump will prime. You see all those beads? That's water. Look at that. We got to get all that out of there. All right, so what do you do in this case? Well, what you can do is you can just prime it a bunch of times until you start to get gas coming straight out of there. Then fill it back up with gas. Especially if this thing's been sitting with ethanol, you have condensation in the tank from the hot and cold over the seasons. It's going to collect water in there, and then when the ethanol fuel gets saturated with more than 5% of water, it starts to separate and will separate like this. So if you get most of it out and you start running regular fuel in there again, it'll hang on to that water and run it through the system, as long as you don't get more than that 5%. So you want to get it all out. Other way would be to take the tank off, pull the pump, dry it all out, make sure all the water is out of there, and you can put fresh fuel in it and you're good to go. What I'm going to do for this one, because I'm just selling this thing, and I'm not really selling it as a bike, I'm selling it so someone else can use the engine in it. I'm going to prime this a bunch of times to get all the water out of it, put some fresh fuel in it, and then we're going to fire it up to show people that it runs so they can buy it for the engine. So this is what could be happening. Let me show you what the cup looks like now. This is what I'm getting coming out of that. It's mostly water, all right? Nothing but rusty, nasty water. So I'm going to get all this stuff out of here and just keep on priming until we start getting fuel coming out of that. If you look inside it, you can kind of see that, it's hard to see in the camera, but you can see it's trying to separate. So we'll keep on going with this until we get some just fuel coming out of it. All right, this is my second full measuring cup of water coming out of that tank. And there's the third one of just water. Here's 4. All right, there's a full gallon, guys, so far. We're going to get another container. And all I'm doing is I got the switch in the run position, and I'm turning the ignition on and off, and it just keeps pumping it out. This way you don't have to crank the engine as much. Let me get another bottle. All right, guys, so after 2 gallons, that's right, 2 gallons. This one is full, and this one is just about full. I'm down to this. I'm still getting... So I put I got it till it wouldn't pump anymore, and then I put about a half a gallon of gas in there. So this is what I'm down to. All right, so we're gonna keep on doing it until we start getting just straight fuel out of here. All right, now we're getting there. I'm down to almost nothing. Just a tiny bit in there. I'm going to do it a couple more times, and that should be acceptable to get the bike fired up, and it'll burn the rest of it through. Let's keep going just a little bit more. All right, guys, so here we are now after 3 key cycles. There's almost nothing in there. I can't even see it at the bottom. There might be a tiny bit. Yeah, that's it right there. So I think we're good. So let me get this a little bit more gas in here, and then we'll see what'll happen. All right, guys, see, we are not in the clear yet with this junker. We got the fuel line hooked back up again, but there's still going to be some water in the injector lines and stuff, so we got to get that out. So we're going to take a couple cranks to get it going, but let's give it a shot. Got to get all that water out of there. And we might have to shoot some starter fluid in there. Still got water in the lines though, but it's pumping nothing but fuel. So let's give it a little help with some starter fluid. I got some starter fluid in there, let's see. It's trying. All we need is really one cylinder to start firing. It'll get the rest going. I need some more starter fluid in there. And there we go, guys. We're back in action. Now we're getting fuel back to the injectors. There we go. I'm going to let it run and just get all that water out of the injector lines and everything. Then we should be good to go. Man, guys, it's hot out here, but listen, we got it going again. And if your bike sits outside for a year or so and you got water inside the tank and it's not starting, don't panic. Just pull that fuel line off of the pump some out into something where you can see and see if there's water in it. If there is, just cycle it through a bunch of times until you stop getting water out of that thing, and you'll be good to go. Guys, hopefully this helps you out get your bikes running again. So guys, do me a favor. Please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for further notifications, guys. And we'll keep getting them like this, these old junkers, and bringing them back to life. Until next time, this is TEPCO Cycle Repair.